Hello everyone, welcome back to Sounds of Our Love. Let's go ahead and continue. Rays of light and the sound of chirping of birds enter my room as I pull back my curtain. Outside, the weather isn't anything short of what I asked for. A beautiful day, something which I can surely enjoy. It's still fairly early, according to my brand new alarm clock sitting at the side of my desk. Getting up at this time would usually give me a sour feeling. However, today I have something to motivate me. The thought of Carrie's silky braids caressing her beautiful rose-tinted cheeks as she waits for me, basking in the sunlight, is wonderful. Lately, she's had an alluring aura which I can't find myself resisting. I'll be meeting her at 10. But I need to have some time to get ready and spruce myself up. She told me to give her the book read today rather than at school. It's been a few days since I mentioned it. I assumed she would have what I wanted as early as possible. Perhaps she just wanted two things to look forward to. No matter the reason behind it, my fingers tighten around it as I stare down at its cover. She may be excited to receive it, but I'm just as excited to give it to her. Footsteps echo out from behind me as the door to my room opens. I turn around to find my mother standing in the doorway. You're up early. Is there something special going on today? Yeah, I'm meeting someone in town. Didn't Dad tell you? No, not that I can remember. If I did, then I didn't pay attention. You know how he gets. I would have thought she would have been pretty interested to hear the details. Anyway, I've just about finished breakfast. You can tell me more about it then. Oh, and wake your sister up too. I just went in there, but she probably just went straight back to sleep. It's a Saturday. Can't you just let her sleep in? Most other school kids in Japan would kill to have Saturday mornings free. We're just lucky since we go to a school which follows the curriculum of another country. Alright. I oblige anyway, just to get my mother out of my room. It'll still take me a few minutes to get ready. Even though it's only 8 o'clock. I still want to be set to get straight out the door to see Carrie as soon as possible. After doing up my shoelaces, I walk out into the hall and give a knock on my sister's bedroom door. Get up. Fine. The sounds of bedsheets being tossed about, along with moans of agony and despair, creep through the crack beside my feet. She really isn't a morning person. At least she's out of bed now. I head back down towards the end of the corridors and approach the descent to the ground floor. Time to have breakfast, something I rarely do on a Saturday. Toast. That's what I smell when I'm sitting down at the dining table, ready to tuck in. It's not the most elegant of dishes. The concept of cooked bread is quite plain. I cannot compare it to fulfilling traditional English breakfast, but a slice of toast is certainly fine every now and then. My sister soon joins me, scraping the chair across the hardwood floor next to me. She about apathetically examines the toast before her, putting it in her mouth soon after. A move which bars her from joining a typical morning commotion. So far, who are you meeting then? Is that girl you are on about, isn't it? You should really bring her home one of these days. Hell, I don't even know her name. Her name is Caradwin. So I see. My father goes back to eating his toast. However, my mother continues to converse with me. I'm glad you're making more friends, Far. As if she couldn't make me sound like any more of a loner. Oh yeah, son, did you remember to pack that book I gave you? Of course I did. That's my boy. A quick glance at the clock in the wall tells me it's approaching 9:45. I have to set off. I don't have to leave this early since it's only a short walk away from my house. However, getting to see Carrie for just a little bit longer will probably do me some good. I bet she'll be there early too. I wave goodbye to my parents, both of whom continue to eat their breakfast and discuss trivial topics which don't necessarily concern me. A cold breeze meets my face as I open the door and step out into the world. Soon enough in my sight, I catch Carrie's blonde braids swaying softly in the wind as she twiddles her thumbs and waits for me. She hasn't noticed me approaching yet, but she soon will. I don't think I'll be able to cover her eyes and surprise her. As I approach her, something weird is made apparent. She's still wearing her school uniform, even though it's a Saturday. I have to admit, it does look good on her. But I was hoping to see her wearing something casual. Maybe I should ask her about it. She turns her head towards my direction and finally takes notice of me, looking visibly startled even though I'm still nowhere near her yet. My hand glides through the wind as I wave to her, slowly but surely making my way beside her. Hey, Carrie.
Hello?
How long have you been waiting for? I knew she would arrive before me, but I wouldn't want her to have waited for too long.
Oh, not long.
That's good. She could just be saying that to make me less concerned, but I'll trust her on it.
Shall we get going then?
Carrie takes the initiative and I give her a truthful response. Yes, I'd love to. Carrie blushes at my answer. I really do want to go on this trip with her. Wait, Carrie. I'm not really sure whether this is a good time to give it to her. It's agonizing to keep waiting. I really want her to have it. I have something to give you. Pulling the book out of my coat, I present it to Carrie in a similar fashion as when she presented hers to me. Maybe not in such a passionate way as she did, but the passion is certainly there within my fingertips. Carrie stands still, taken aback. She curiously peers toward the book, reaching out and tracing it with the tip of her index finger. She softly brushes mine in the process, going red as the surface of our fingers meet one another.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. She looks up towards me and our eyes meet. Her amber irides shimmer in the morning light, which are too soon divert back towards the book within my hands.
Can I really have this?
Of course, it's a present. You can keep it. Carrie tightens her fingers around the book, once again brushing her smooth skin against mine. This time she doesn't apologize. However, she can't help but blush once more as her cheeks bloom like a rose in spring.
How did you know I liked this author?
Well, they wrote the book you gave me before. It was quite worn, so I could assume you read it multiple times. Anyway, let's get going. We wouldn't want to miss the train.
You're right.
Carrie and I walk towards the train station, side by side. In a way, she's acting as my guide as I still don't know my way around. I can't help but take a few glances at her whenever possible. She herself does the same, peering towards me from time to time. The trip into the city wasn't long, but sure was enjoyable. Carrie and I didn't converse much. It wasn't as if either of us was uninterested in the other. An enjoyable silence. Carrie takes me through the city, trying to stay as close to me as she can, despite her taking the lead. It's confusing, sure, but I wouldn't be one to argue against it.
We're almost there.
She continues to weave through the urban sprawl as we make our way towards the library she had planned on visiting. The way she walks is quite cute in its own way. She takes small, dainty strides, making light footsteps, which tap quietly against the pavement. Finally, she stops and turns towards me, almost making me bump into her.
Sorry.
She looks visibly upset about the ordeal, so I calm her down as always. It's alright, Carrie.
Okay. Anyway, we're here now.
I look to my left to see a modern building with its signage designating it as the town's public library. The exterior is fairly clean, so perhaps it is newly built.
I preferred the old one. The stonework was pretty. Though, this one is good too.
Carrie gives me her thoughts on the building, confirming my suspicions on the date of construction. It's no surprise. Urban areas are always changing. Shall we go inside?
Sure. You should have brought your uniform. They give discounts to students.
So that's why she's wearing it. Certainly it'd be simpler for her to say she is a student anyway. Though pretending to be a regular high school in the Japanese curriculum works too, even though she looks far from it. I wasn't planning on buying any books anyway. Even if I wanted one, I'd take it out on a lease anyway. As a pair, we make our way inside the building. We are greeted to the warmth of the heating, alongside the traditional smell of books you'd expect in the library.
I just want to look around. I probably won't get anything. I have the one you gave me after all.
Carrie's cheeks glow a bright shade of crimson as she states the fact to me. Maybe the actual fact of the matter is that she wasn't just planning on going to the library, that she just wanted to invite me out. Well, it's a possibility. I want to do more with her, but just coming here is enough. Seeing her cute demeanor on the weekend is a treat in and of itself. The two of us stroll through the library together, with Carrie taking me between the bookshelves as she scans for anything that might pique her interest. I can't help but watch her eyes dart from shelf to shelf as she looks keenly at the covers of each book. She finally reaches out towards something and gracefully clasps the book within her grip. Found something?
It's a book about gardening. I like flowers, so I thought it would become another hobby.
How many hobbies does this girl have?
We could get going now if you'd like. I can't find any books that would top the one you gave me.
Carrie shoots me a smile, one which pierces my heart. She guides me towards a digital checkout in which she swipes the book and places it within the bag. It's strange to think that even libraries have self-service nowadays. The world sure is changing.
Shall we go then?
Yes, let's. Side by side, Carrie and I walk out of the library. Both the books in her bag cause it to sway. She takes step after step. We come to find ourselves outside the library, since neither one of us had really planned on doing anything afterwards.
My horoscope said today would be a good day.
Your horoscope? For some reason, Carrie brings up her horoscope. Not that I mind, but it's a pretty abstract topic to bring up out of the blue. Well, Was it?
It was.
Carrie eagerly explains the fact, causing herself to blush. Alongside her, I also go red. I would never have thought that I could have brought so much satisfaction to someone. When is her birthday anyway, Carrie? I ask her simply because I want to know more about her. If I don't know her birthday, how am I supposed to get her a present?
My birthday? September 3rd. I'm a Virgo.
So her birthday wasn't even that long ago. Happy belated birthday?
Thank you. When's yours?
She wants to know my birthday as well. I may as well tell her. Number of month. January, yeah. My birthday's on the oh. My bad. Yeah, 20th of January. Right. My birthday is on the 20th of January.
Oh, I'll add it to the calendar on my phone.
Speaking of phones, I really need a contact picture for Carrie. Well, I just want a photo of her, but still. Carrie, can I take a photo of you? For your contact picture.
What?
Carrie looks shocked at my statement and moves herself back slightly, but it doesn't stop me from bringing my phone up and taking the shot. Expression in the photo isn't a happy one, but she still looks pretty cute. I'll keep it.
I don't like having my photo taken.
Come on, you look good in it. Turning my phone screen to face Carrie, I show her the photo. She still doesn't look particularly happy about it, but I don't think she's angry.
Alright, I'll let you keep it. But only because it's you.
Her statement takes me aback. Carrie herself seems pretty composed about it, albeit blushing slightly. Anyway, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Anything else? I'm not sure. Have you got any ideas?
Well, I asked her since I couldn't really come up with anything myself. Though with a bit of thought, it shouldn't be that hard to find something to do. How about we have a look around town for a bit? I wouldn't want to go home early. Kiri nods her head in agreement, making her reddened cheeks more noticeable.
Me neither.
We walk together, heading away from the library without a sense of direction. We'll end up somewhere. Both of us just want to spend more time with the other. Carrie's braids rest over her shoulders, brushing against her body as each luxuriant strand gleams in the sunlight. It is a nice sight, but I do wonder what she would look like with her hair down. Time flows forward as Carrie and I wander around the town together at a temperate pace. We look within the windows of stores and occasionally make comments on what we see. Carrie slows to a halt as we stroll by another store. This is the first store that has gotten her this mesmerized, so I turn to face the store as well. A music store? Carrie stares at the building as if enchanted by its aura. By the looks of it, it's been here quite a while. It has a traditional sign and printed glass which has worn over the years. Beyond the glass, though, is the thing I can only assume Carrie is fascinated by. She takes steps towards the window, closing herself in on it. Her palms meet the glass, she touches the window, almost in awe. Behind it sits a large, gold-trimmed harp. The polish on the wood mirrors Carrie's enthralled face as it stands before us grandiosely, staring back at her. You can play the harp, can't you? Carrie moves her face away from the glass, turning to face me while still maintaining her upbeat expression, one of pure happiness.
I'm glad you remember. But I wasn't looking at the harp.
You weren't?
No, that gramophone on the level below it. I've never seen one before.
To think she was this enthralled by a piece of outdated technology, when there was the best looking harp I've ever seen sitting right before her. I'm not going to blame her for it though.
The harp I own, it's much grander than that one.
How rich is this girl? Sure, you need money to get into our school, but a harp like that's bound to cost thousands. Carrie and I turn around, with her seemingly satisfied with the amount of gramophone exposure she has received. A brief glance at my watch tells me it's getting pretty late. Despite wanting to stay with Carrie for longer, I wouldn't want to worry my parents either. My dad calls me, he might ask to speak to her if he can tell she's there. Carrie, it's getting pretty late. Shall we head home?
Okay.
With that, the two of us walked together towards the same station we arrived at. Carrie seems as happy as I am about this trip, with her lips still curled softly into a smile as the setting sun shines upon her. The sky is noticeably darker than before as we walked through the street where we first met. Today certainly was enjoyable, both of us finding satisfaction just by being with each other. Carrie looks at me with a blush. My guess is that she's probably going to ask me something.
Would you like to come to my house for dinner?
She's inviting me to her house. That's a pretty bold thing to ask. Technically, we did just go on a date, but in reality, it's more of a trip to the library as friends. This, though, I don't know what to say. Carrie probably doesn't realize its forwardness herself. That, or I am overcomplicating it. Is having dinner at her house really such an abstract concept to me? Maybe going with her on this trip has given me a few thoughts I didn't have before. Either way, I can't just go over there without asking my parents first. Pulling out my phone, I give Carrie my answer. Sure, let me just tell my parents where I'll be. Carrie gives me a nod as I wait for someone to pick up on the other end of the line. My house isn't even that far from here, so I could have just walked in and told them. This though is easier, despite it costing money. Hello? Unexpectedly, my sister answers in the place of either my mother or father. Sis, where's Mom and Dad? They gone out to dinner. They never told me anything about that. Well, will you be fine on your own? I'll be out for a bit too. Yeah, I'll get to play my music extra loud. Just don't disturb the neighbors, okay? Don't worry, I won't. I'll tell Mom and Dad that you've gone somewhere with a girl, okay? She ends her sentence with a laugh, even though I really am going somewhere with a girl. Alright, whatever. See you later. Sure. She hangs up before I can, leaving me holding my phone next to my ear, listening to the silence. The warmth in my pocket greets my hand as I put it away, turning to face Carrie, who is still observing me intently. Shall we go then?
Sure. I'll lead the way.
The cool, late evening air brushes my bemused face. Carrie and I idle outside her house, a rather plain and generic building. The thoughts of living in an elaborate mansion dissipate from my mind. The building is nothing short of a nice house. I just expected that it would be fancier.
Should we go inside?
Carrie calls out to me from my side, giving the signal that she's ready to go in. She's composed. It contrasts with her prior shyness. Though the bloom of the red on her cheeks is still all too apparent. It's a thing that will always suit her. Certainly. Our shoes meet the ground in unison, her taking a step forward into a place she's accustomed to, me, however, walking into a new experience, something cherishable. I've been to people's houses plenty of times, just not to any girls. Standing before the door, thought flutters into my head whilst Carrie's fingers wrap around its silver handle. Come here, I'm bound to meet her family, aren't I? Did she even tell them that she planned on inviting me over? If so, I would have done a lot more to make myself look more impressionable. Caressing the handle lightly, Carrie twists her key delicately and pulls it down. The warmth from the inside soon meets us as bit by bit the door opens, Carrie taking the first step through, escorting me in.
Well, we're here.
Carrie's smile is one of many treats I've been given today. She plays with her hair, eyes directed towards me, anticipating a response. Now that we're under brighter light, I can see her face much more clearly. I still can't get enough of it. Despite being lost for words, one thing does make it out of my mouth. You look pretty cute. Carrie is instantly taken aback, looking as she's trying as hard as she can to muster up a response. Thank you. I made her myself. A suited man appears out of the blue, startling me slightly. It's natural, of course, him appearing that it is. Getting caught off guard like that isn't a virtue. This must be Carrie's father. The man himself, a foreigner like Carrie, carries a thick accent that differs from hers. They're Welsh, but Carrie seems to be a lot more understandable. At least when she does speak. The majority of the time her sentences are broken to pieces as she stumbles around her words. A hindrance, but a fairly cute one at that. Her father's voice, however, is grittier and gravelly. It's not as stereotypical as the accent is portrayed as by far, but hearing him speak Japanese would probably mortify me. Luckily enough, we're all used to speaking English. You must be that friend Carrie told me about. She was really keen on having you over. Carrie blushes at her father's statement. It's not like Carrie to bring me here on a whim, so I wasn't wrong in guessing that she had planned this evening in advance. Yes, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Irwood. My pleasure. I'm glad you're getting along so well with my daughter. It's understandable that he is. From what Carrie had told me, she had never made any friends during her stay at our school. Being a parent and seeing that would leave anyone concerned, though the opposite is true as well. Knowing your daughter's first true friend there as a guy has probably left him having a couple of questions. And though he seems fairly friendly, I wouldn't blame him if he had any suspicions. One thing that is quite odd is the absence of Carrie's mother. Not that she couldn't be in work, it's just odd that Carrie hadn't brought her up. She never talked much about her father either. It's a nice thing to meet her family. In a way, I am learning more about Carrie herself than anything. Her experiences and those close to her. I guess her family's all she has when outside of school. At least until I came along. I still feel inclined about asking where her mother is. It's weird, but my mind can't help ruminate over her. Carrie herself must have had an attractive mother to turn out the way she is. Though I wouldn't tell her that. I'm not an expert in genetics either. Well, I can't help it. She's a really interesting person. Nice one, too. Carrie reddens at my statement. At this point, anything I could say about her would make her blush. Not only because of her timidness, there's nothing negative to say either. I'm glad you think so. I'll go ahead and set the table. Make yourself feel at home. Though don't make it your home. I'd expect you to pay rent otherwise. His joke is lost on me. I still draw a smile on my face as to act polite and feign a response. Carrie herself seemed pretty amused by the joke, covering her smile to seal her faint but girlish giggles. I guess dad jokes are only effective when they're actually coming from your father. Mine acts like a big one joke himself half the time. Mr. Irwood leaves the pair of us standing by the doorway, giving me the chance moment to converse with Carrie in private. I want to ask her about her mother, though whether I should is a questionable act in itself. And this is where I'll stop. Sorry. But if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like and comment what you think so far. If you want to watch more of this visual novel, please check the playlist down below. If you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below. Anyways, thank you and take care.
Carrie is fine. Would you be interested in reading? When we first met, I was nervous. It wasn't even